Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your Wednesday is going well, guys. Do me a favor. As you come to the chat room, please hit the like button again. Please, when you come into the chat room, please hit the like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. All that good stuff. What else? Shout out to King Joseph, Ayana. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat room. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate the support. Shout out to my cousin who's in the chat room, Tanira. Shout out to Tanira. Thank y'all for joining. Delina, I see you. And I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone who has been supporting over the years. It really means a lot. Again, it really means a lot. Shout out to Body Butter Plug in the chat room. I got me some butter from her. I think some cocoa butter. Was it cocoa butter? Or was it shea butter? Shea butter. I got some shea butter. From her. So, guys, again, hit the like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Also, if you have not bought the documentary, In Search of Uhuru, okay? If you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, please go and buy the documentary. Again, go to search4uhuru.com. Again, go to search4uhuru.com and buy the documentary. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, please go to search4uhuru.com. Again, go to search4uhuru.com and buy the documentary. It would really, really mean a lot. If you have not bought it yet, all you do is go to search4uhuru.com, click on the link. You'll see the directions, and you'll stream it. You'll stream it online. Once you pay for it, you set up a username, password, and this documentary is yours for life. And you can watch it on all devices, phone, laptop, smart TV, anywhere on this planet. So again, go to search4uhuru.com and buy the documentary if you have not bought the documentary. Also, tours. Listen, I got 2 spots available. For the Sierra Leone tour. Hold on, where's my here we go. Here's my passport right here. For the Sierra Leone tour, I have 2 spots available. I have 2 spots available for Sierra Leone. Okay, for Sierra Leone, November 20th through December 3rd. November 20th through December 3rd. I got 2 spots available. So do me a favor, go to Danfo, 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 DANFO .africa to learn more. Again, please go to Danfo, DANFO .africa to learn more. And listen, citizenship is available to those who qualify. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, this is for Sierra Leone. And you will be eligible for one of these, okay? You will be eligible for one of these, all right? So make sure you go to danfo.africa to learn. There you go, right there, bam. Without further ado, we're going to jump into today's topic. Again, we're going to jump into today's topic. Early voting is still going on here in Georgia. I think the 4th is the last day you can early vote. I think Friday's the last day for you to early vote here in Georgia. So if you have not voted yet, make sure you go vote. And listen, go vote for Herschel Walker. Go and support Herschel Walker. Go and support Herschel Walker, you guys. And, today's topic, somebody sent me a link to a video, Jamal Bryant, is, and we're going to play the video. We're going to break the video down. But Jamal Bryant had words for Herschel Walker. And guys, these people, they're so desperate because they know what's going to happen 6 days from now, November 8th. They know what's going to happen 6 days from now, November 8th. We already know Stacey's losing. We already know Stacey's losing. We already know Stacey is losing. All right. But they are so desperate that they're just on a smear campaign. A Herschel Walker. Here we go. $2. Thank you for the super chat, MS Delta guy. Black men leave the Dems. There we go. They are just on such a smear campaign when it comes to Herschel Walker. Listen, we know the brother ain't perfect, but you got the abortion allegations. Conveniently October 1st. They want to release these, put out these abortion allegations conveniently on October 1st. The abortion allegedly took place in 2009. Then here comes another one from about 30 years ago when Herschel was playing for the Cowboys. Another alleged abortion like 2 weeks ago. Gloria Allred, here she comes with her, her press conference. I don't believe anything that Gloria Allred says. I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. Again, I don't believe anything. Hold on, get this focus in. I don't believe anything that comes out of Gloria Allred's mouth. So here she comes with another allegation, and it's just like, oh God, here we go. From 30 years ago, but 2 weeks ago, the lady, it just, she just woke up, 3 weeks before the election. She just woke up and was just like, listen, I need to call Gloria Allred and tell her my story. And it's just like, oh man, but it's not working. And now you got Jamal, now you got Jamal Bryant, and he has some words for Herschel Walker. We're gonna play the video. But really, what really kills me, it was so hypocritical, especially when it comes from my Black friends on the left who vote Democrat. I love y'all. I love y'all. Listen, we have a disagreement when it comes to politics, but that's okay. You know, I don't take this personal. Some of y'all get too emotional and take this personal, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you taking this personal? Again, why are you taking this personal? But what really kills me, what I find hilarious, is like a lot of my black friends who vote for the Democratic Party. Y'all swear you guys are on just higher. You guys are standing on higher moral ground by voting for Joe Biden than Donald Trump, or by being a Democrat versus Republican. You guys swear that you're just on a higher moral ground by doing that. Jamal is known for side pieces. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna personally attack that man, but you know, it's just y'all desperate. How many baby mamas Pastor Brian got? Listen, I don't know, and I really don't care. All right, but it just kills me how desperate these folks are when it comes to Herschel Walker. Listen, if Herschel is really that slow and inept as you guys claim he is, then why are you so worried? Why are you so stressed out over Herschel Walker? If he's really that slow, if he's just go ahead and say it, if you think the guy's a dumb jock, why are you guys so stressed out over Herschel Walker? That's the point I don't understand. These folks are spooked. But it just seems like, you know, these Democrats, especially my black brothers and sisters on the left, y'all just feel like you're on high moral ground. You guys sort of feel like you're fighting the white man. You know, I ain't answering to no white man. You know, all this, your black people on the right, y'all looking for white acceptance, and y'all just swear that you guys are absolved from answering to Joe Biden. That you guys just swear that you have your own like separate party within the Democratic Party. You know, I'm just saying. No, why would a preacher that had multiple babies with church members and was not married say anything about another man, black or not? We must stop being used. Listen, I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to do the ad hominem attacks. But listen, but I'm going to get into the black church. We're going to talk about the black church. All right. And wisdom never sleeps. They get a pass for that. Because as long as you are catering, not even catering. All right. Not even catering. That's the wrong word. As long as you are simping and selling dreams to the black people, in the black church, they could get away with whatever they want to. They could get away with whatever they want to. You know. So yeah, but that's just Democrats say black men who are Republican. Yeah, they're going after Killer Mike now too. They're going after Killer Mike. Like, I don't care. Listen, you can vote for whoever you want. Liberal, Republican, Independent, Green Party, or I don't vote at all. I don't care. Yeah, listen, the reason why Jamal Bryant, again, allegedly, I don't know his I don't know his situation, his kid's situation with all his children. I don't know. Or I didn't even look into all that. But as long as you're doing that feel good, selling the dream, pastor, running your mouth, making people feel good, selling them dreams in the pulpit, you are absolved of any wrongdoing. It don't matter. Again, you are absolved of any wrongdoing in the eyes of the black church, in the eyes of the black community. It don't matter. But what you guys have to understand, when it comes to Pastor Warnock and Pastor Bryant, first you have to understand religion, the church, is a business, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, that's what they do. Instead of addressing the plight and issue with Black America, they keep attacking black people with black people. That's what they do. But for some reason, these black folks who are the attack dogs of the Democratic Party, they just feel like they're on higher moral ground. They feel like they have their own like party within the Democratic Party, and in their minds, their delusional mind, they don't answer to no white folks. They don't answer to Nancy Pelosi. They don't answer to Joe Biden. In their head, for some reason, in their delusional brain, they think that they are fighting the white man, fighting white supremacy by being a part of the Democratic Party. That's how they feel. And we're going to get into his speech shortly. But what we got to understand about, because, a lot of people brought up, Pastor Warnock, and they're like, how can a pastor support LGBTQ in abortion? Same with Jamal Bryant. They're like, how can pastors support LGBTQ and abortion? This is what you guys got to understand, okay? The church is a business, all right? It is a business. We got to let go of the feel good. Well, not the feel good, but the idea that it's a charity, even though they do have 501c3 status. This idea that it's pious and it's a charity, and Jesus was poor. Why I need to ride around in a Mercedes? We got to let that go. The church is a business, okay? It is a business first. All right, that's what we got to understand. That's why when pastors like Joe Osteen, TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, they're making millions of dollars, I'm not mad. They have a great product in the eyes of other people. They have a great product. They have a great service. The way they interpret the Bible and the way they preach, that draws the numbers and the money. It's their business. Let them run their business. Let them make their money. That's why I'm not mad. Listen, if these pastors want to make millions of dollars and get private jets and ride around in Maybachs, hey, more power to them. I look at them like, what's the name of the motivational speaker? Hold on 1 second. What's the name of this motivational speaker? Yeah, it's their business. This motivational speaker. Tony Robbins. I look at them like a Tony Robbins, okay? Listen, they are motivational speakers that use the Bible. That's what they are. Guys, hit the like button. Come on now. Hit the like button. Guys, hit the like button. 100 people watch, only 25 likes. Hit the like, guys. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Please hit the like button. Yeah, Tony Robbins. I look at pastors as motivational speakers that just use the Bible. That utilize the Bible. That's how I look at pastors. Right? So it's a business. So you got to put on a show to get people to come into your church every Sunday and get people to fill those pews, okay? You got to put on a show. Like Tony Robbins, he walks through fire and walks on glass and talks about the power of the mind. And so he has a show he puts on. Same thing with these pastors. They got to put on a show, because the more people who sit down and fill these pews or in these churches during Bible study on Wednesday and churches on Sundays, that's more money. And listen, I ain't mad. I'm not mad at all. Listen, I'm not mad at all. Get your money, run your business, expand, grow your business. So with that being said, the objective is getting as much people to come through those doors, those church doors on Sundays, and listen to your sermon and sit down in these pews. In Atlanta, Georgia, all right, being a pastor in Atlanta, Georgia, and being anti-LGBTQ and anti-abortion, you might as well shut your business down. It's bad for business. In Atlanta, Georgia, you cannot be anti-LGBTQ and operate a church. I mean, you can, But if you are a black pastor in the city of Atlanta, you might as well shut your doors down and close up shop. So that is why Warnock, Bryant, that is why they operate the way they do, because it's business. It's business. I ain't mad. All right. In Atlanta, in the black community, black folks are Democrat. All right. Black culture is the Democratic Party. Let's just be honest. The Democratic Party, voting Democrat, is black culture. All right. Voting for the Democratic Party is black culture. So you, as a somebody like Jamal Bryant, you gotta go get out there and say vote Democrat and all this other stuff, because that's just part of the culture. That's just part of the culture. And I'm pretty sure people are pressing him because they nervous as hell, because Herschel's gonna win next week. I'm sorry, Herschel is gonna win next week. I mean, I'm not sorry, because I voted for Herschel. I want Herschel to win. I voted for Herschel. I want Herschel to win. And so these folks, listen, these folks are shook. They are shook that Herschel is about to win. So they pressing Jamal. You got to say something. You got to do something. You got to get involved. So he got involved. And he said something. So that's why he gave that sermon, which we're gonna listen to. And we're gonna break it down. Yeah, Stacey's losing. You know, Herschel's winning. Stacey's losing. Warnock's losing. It's a wrap. But hold on, let me pull up this. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Let me pull up this video real quick. I don't need a walker. Oh, goodness. So we're gonna package this this part of this sermon.
BMCP sent me a video.
Hold on, let me go back. Hold on, let me go back. Let me pull it up here. Hold on, I'm trying to find, like, here we go. I want to find I'm trying to be careful which video I watch. I mean, which video I play. But I mean, all he did was just talk real loud and scream and yell, and he really didn't say anything. But as long as you put on a show and you're bigger than life, and you're doing your little pastor thing and and all this other stuff, yeah, people are gonna think he said something, but he ain't saying nothing. He ain't saying nothing. Like I said, he's an entertainer. These pastors are entertainers. That's all they are. They're entertainers. Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll play
race between the incumbent Senator Raphael. Exact same time.
In fact, I know where to go, guys. Give me a second. Sorry about that. I know exactly where I go. Shout out to brother, for the super chat. I know where I could go. Thank you guys for being patient, but we're gonna break this down. Like I said, we're gonna break this down. Here we go. Here we go. I got it right here. All right, here we go. Let's share the screen.
Prepared for a black man and a Jewish man to go to Senate at the exact same time. So they figured that the Republican Party, ladies and gentlemen, when the Republican Party of Georgia moved Herschel Walker from Texas to Georgia so that he could run for Senate, it's because change was taking too fast in the post-antebellum South. The state had been flipped blue, and there are some principalities that were not prepared for a black man and a Jewish man to go to Senate at the exact same time. So they figured that they would dilute.
We already had a black senator here. We had John Lewis. What are you talking about? We had a black senator. We had John Lewis. Right? Well, he was in the House. I'm sorry, he was in the House. I mean, listen, we've had black mayors. We had John Lewis. I mean, we've had plenty of black politicians here in Georgia. Maynard Jackson was the first black mayor. Yeah, well, congressman. What I'm saying is, if it's all about black faces, then yeah, the state has changed. We had Congressman Lewis. Oh, you know, it's just he's projecting. Yeah, but Herschel's black too. That's the problem. And sorry about that. But we've had black people, black representatives in politics here in Georgia, in Atlanta. We've had that. Now let's continue.
Elude us by picking somebody who they thought would in fact represent us better with a football than with a degree in football.
See, this is the problem I have. And guys, and apologize about my mistake in regards to John Lewis, but this is the problem I have. No matter what, right? Say it was a black person running for senator as a Republican that had a degree in philosophy. Y'all would still be calling this man a coon and a sellout. It doesn't matter. Say if it was a black man that was educated to your guys' standards, right? That was running as a Republican for Senate. You guys will still be calling the guy a coon and a sellout. So it doesn't matter if it was Herschel Walker. It doesn't matter who it was. If it was a black person who was running as for Senate as a Republican, you guys will still be calling him a sellout.
Philosophy.
Who in the hell gets a degree in philosophy? A philosophy degree is a piss poor degree anyway. Yeah, who gets a degree in philosophy? That's a piss poor degree. Dude, listen, folks, if you're watching this and you're about to go to college, you're not getting a degree in philosophy. That is a waste of money and time. They call Tim Scott and Uncle Tom. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if it was Herschel Walker or who it was. Y'all will still be calling him an Uncle Tom and a sellout. Again, you guys will still be calling him an Uncle Tom and a sellout. Doesn't matter who it is. And we've had plenty of black representation in this state. Plenty of it. So ain't no one was tripping that John Ossoff and Ossoff, I believe his name is, and Raphael Warnock, the Jewish guy and the black guy, were both senators. Nobody was tripping off of that. No, white guy. John Ossoff is white. See, John Ossoff is white. I mean, come on now. He's white. He's white. He's white. So his mother's an Australian immigrant, and his father is a Russian Jewish and Lithuanian Jewish descent. I mean, he's white. Okay, let's continue.
They thought we were so slow, that we were so stupid, that we would elect the lowest caricature of a stereotypical broken black man.
No, the lowest caricature of a broken black man are these rappers and Pookie and Ray Ray. Not Herschel Walker. The lowest caricature of black men are Pookie and Ray Ray. Okay? These rappers. You want to know the lowest caricature of black men? What happened in Houston last night? The other night. What happened in Houston a couple of nights ago when Takeoff, who y'all was crying about, got killed? Those are the lowest caricatures of black men. Pookie and Ray Ray, them folks that are getting murdered shooting dice. Not Herschel Walker. Not Herschel Walker. And see, he won't go after. And see, listen, he won't go after the entertainers or the rappers because he doesn't want to offend them because they come to his church. But a lot of those entertainers, a lot of those rappers who attend your church, those are the lowest caricatures of black men. Not Herschel Walker.
as opposed to somebody who is educated and erudite and focused. Y'all ain't ready for me today. Since Herschel Walker was 16 years old, white men been telling him what to do, telling him what's.
See, this is where he lost me at. And see, this is what kills me about black people on the left. Y'all act like y'all white bosses don't tell you what to do. You act like when you go into work, when you go to your job, your white manager is not telling you what to do. Again, you act like your white manager is not telling you what to do when y'all go to work. Y'all swear that you guys are above white people telling you what to do. What do you mean you're getting off point? He's talking about Walker's political views. Dude, his political views are Joe Biden's political views. His political views are Joe Biden's political views. The white guy. This white guy right here. Hold on. This is my favorite video. Hold on one second. This is my favorite video right here. Hold on. This white guy right here tells y'all what to do. Hold on one second. This white guy right here. Hold on. We're going to pull this up. Y'all know this is my favorite video. Hold on, guys.
Listen, you got it.
Hold on. Let's share the screen. Hold on one second. Let's share the screen. Here we go. Here we go. This is the white guy you guys went and voted for. This white guy right here. Hold on. Let me play it. Let me play it.
To come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black,
It don't have nothing to do with
figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black,
it. Don't have nothing.
figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't.
Problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
Figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
Trump and you ain't black. Out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with
For me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with
And you ain't black. You're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
And you ain't black.
It,
Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
This is who y'all answer to. This is who you guys answer to. And you got the audacity to talk about Herschel Walker when you went out and voted for this guy? This is who y'all voted for. This guy. Hold on, I gotta run it back. Hold on, I gotta run it back.
And you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
You're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
Figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have
Question, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has.
Listen, this is who you guys voted for. But you swear you are anti-white supremacy and you ain't answering to the white man. What else? You know, you ain't tap dancing for no white folks. And this is the guy you voted for. You want, okay, we're going to rewind it again. Hold on. We're going to rewind it again.
And you ain't black. Figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
Here we go. Charles Randolph. Walker is a tool for white supremacy. Stop it. So explain this. Guys, I want somebody, a black person on the left, to call in and explain this right here. Explain this. Walker is a tool for white supremacy. Stop it. Then explain this. Explain it. This is who all the black folks, this is who y'all voted for right here. This guy right here, Joe Biden. This is who you guys voted for. This guy right here. And guys, I apologize at the beginning in regards to John Lewis and his political office. I apologize. But listen, guys, we've had a lot of black representation. And to be honest with you, the last real black representation that black folks have had here in Atlanta is Maynard Jackson. Maynard Jackson. Maynard Jackson. That's who it was. Maynard Jackson. All right, let's get back to the other video.
School to go to, where to live, where to eat, where to buy a house, where to.
Dude, what is he talking about? Listen, Herschel Walker was one of the top athletes on the planet. All right, white folks came to him, begging him to attend and play for their institutions. Okay, they didn't tell him what to do. Herschel told them what he wanted. Again, them white folks didn't tell Herschel what to do. They wanted Herschel. Herschel set his own demands. Herschel told those white folks what he wanted. Them white folks were knocking on Herschel's door, not the other way around. Them white folks wanted Herschel. But again, it gets back to this argument how black folks who vote on the left think they just blackity black, 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 blackity to the 15th power, and they ain't answering to no white folks. When I just showed you the white guy they answer to. I just showed you the white guy that they answer to. Hold on. Call in. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. Call in. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link. Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. You can't do that. You can't do that, brother. But thank you for the super chat. But you can't do that, okay? Because we don't want. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. But again, click on a link, call in if you wanna add to the conversation. Again, click on a link and call in. Go ahead, Brandon. Brandon, I can't hear you.
Hey,
Yo.
hey,
Yeah.
why can't I illegally? Why can't?
I can barely hear you, bro. No, we lost him. He's on his Obama phone. You're on your Obama phone, Brandon. Call back in, brother. Call back in. Yeah, he's on his Obama phone. Listen, link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Click on the link and call in. Click on the link and call in. Click on the link and call in. But let's continue watching. Oh, here goes with Gerald Stevens. Hold on. With Gerald Stevens, go ahead. My brother.
Hey, Prince, how you doing, man? Hello, everyone.
I'm doing good.
Hey, listen, man. When the issues are confronted on both sides of the aisle, especially when you're dealing with Democratic parties, and you put someone in a position where facts are presented, the deflection starts coming, and you start asking exactly what have you gained from the 60-something, almost 50-something years of power Democratic Party's been in. And then it goes back to, well, at least they do something for the little man, or at least they do something with the poor man. And when I counter, well, hell, stop staying poor. Figure out ways to make business enterprises, figure out ways to build wealth. You're never going to build anything really working on so much jobs as far as for the thing. When you bring up the abortion quadrant in the black community, when you bring up the constant policies that hurt us, and when you pull out your Trump card and saying the Democrats cannot win without the black vote, they can't do anything. That's the statistical proven, but yet they get the least of everyone in it, and you're supposed to be happy with those results. Yeah, but it's just excuses. It's almost like people are going to think how they want to think, and vote sometimes very much against their self-interest. I don't get it. I just don't. I mean, I'm certainly not going to vote for something that's retarding my progress and development and keeping me at the economic low bottom. And then when you come with the immigration, how that's specifically hurting us, it's like, yeah, but the Republicans ain't let nobody in and let nobody. Man, don't you understand? You got to build a door. Don't you understand? Someone don't owe you anything in a capitalist society. I mean, how are you trying to what do you say about other groups who constantly come over here and clean your clock? The opportunity that you was born with and bred with and homegrown with, but yet they can take advantage of all these other factors, and overcome all these obstacles that you're saying that's binding you. I just don't get it, and I'm not into the getting it anymore. I'm just have to move in far as for my progress and my progression and other like-minded individuals. But I'm not even going to say it's sad, man. I just don't understand the level of thinking. So when you get a guy like Brandon, or you get a guy like Simp Police, and they expound these views, but we all have different delivery systems. I mean, it's seen as radical, but if you're dealing with a continual cancer, to your growth, to your development, and the cancer just constantly keeps spreading. You're doing the same dang thing and overlooking business development, equity, the prison industrial complex is centered all against you. I don't know what the heck to say. I just don't.
But the answer is really simple. The black people have been scared into voting that way for the past 60 years. So if you have a group of people who are fear-based, then you can get people to go ahead and vote for those people, because I mean, listen, I voted out of fear. last time. I knew that I didn't like either choice, but I chose what I thought at the time was lesser two evils because for the last time I allowed the Democratic machine to go ahead and make me fear the orange man. And so I figured I would go ahead and vote for him. So that's the level of thinking people have when they go ahead and cast the votes for someone like that, even in a situation like mine where that's not the right vote to make. But out of fear, you go ahead and you make that kind of decision. So we need to get out of a fear-based mentality and try, and as you said, try to make a more decision that's more advantageous to us.
Well, I can't look down on the screen to see who you are. Once again, I'm driving, but this BS, man. We talk about we and free. Hell, we need to do this. All black people don't vote like that, man. All black people don't think like this. Shit, ain't nobody. Not afraid of anybody. Ain't nobody out there on the whole getting out there to compete. The dude's a man just like me. I'll rock with anybody out there. As far as my field, if I don't know what I feel, I'll learn it better to how to build the skills and things. This we as we're all inclusive. As absolutely detest that. There are some of us who are independent thinkers and who don't know how to vote for our interests and gives two damns about what the crowd and consensus. We can see the ship on fire.
I can agree with you. I agree with you, but
so we're looking at things, man. And sir, if you can't see that your income is contracting, if you can't see that that you're going into a level of perpetual slaves, by being on jobs and being at the mercy of people controlling your income, all they have to do is just say, like, we don't like what you said, we don't like what you represent, we don't like what you voted, and just snatch your income, and you don't have nothing for your family, you don't have no way to get out of this country and stuff. I mean, that's the thing to fear, and you're not trying to convince people. For those who don't want to rise out of that, you just leave me alone. But once again, I just attest to overall the black man this and the black women this and we as a people doing that. Man, it's crazy as hell. Men are capable of making up their own mind. Women are capable of making up their own mind. And I just attest that. I've all even said something to my close brother, Prince Dynast Amir. He knows I hate using all we as black people this and we as black people bliss. A lot of policies that they implement as far as would be hell. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Sharpton and all the rest of these so-called leaders, they ain't not leaders as far as me. I would have followed the Malcolm Shabazz. I would have followed the Patrice Lumumba. I would have called them leaders because they exemplified us. But all these guys don't speak for me. Actors are not my leaders. Entertainers are not my leaders. Even entertaining preachers like this cat you listen to right now, Dynast, that's not a leader to me. I think for myself, and so I'll just let that. But until someone starts really realizing, man, we just about 2 generations for being a permanent underclass, just 2 generations, and doing the same thing. It's obviously our political leaders, those who have the same skin tone as you and me. It's obviously they are for self-interest. It's obviously they being controlled, so they're not reliable. And some cat got the stones and sit up there and say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You tell me what other people that he would think that he actually could get away with that stuff.
Well, again, we agree with you. We agree with you, but here's the thing, and here's what you're missing. We're speaking generalities, right? And in general, there was the only explanation for voting for Joe Biden was fear. It's the only way that even makes sense.
It doesn't make. Oh, sorry.
More black men and more black people in prison and put them in there. The only fear for vote for this damn food. Is that what I'm hearing? Who made it look like built platforms out of locking up black people?
I agree with you. Listen, I agree with you 1,000%. What I'm saying to you is that most people were indoctrinated thoroughly into fearing the orange man that much that they were willing to go ahead and vote for this guy despite what he was actually saying out of his mouth, despite the fact that he was running for president from his basement.
Alan, the fear excuse is BS.
Is that
let me tell you why it's BS. if every time you come around the corner, I beat you up, and and then you go around, you choose to go around another corner, and there's a guy out there, but he don't touch you, he don't do nothing to you. As a matter of fact, he offer you a cup of water or a hot cup of coffee. You can't say, I voted for the guy who beat me up over the guy who gives me a cup of coffee because I was scared. So what I never do, because I like to just find a road where we can just connect. I never call you out on this. I ease up on you on this because I said at least he can see the error in his ways. But today I'm going to call you out on it.
Okay.
Joe Biden spent 40 years screwing black people over, making racist remarks to our people. You still to this day cannot name one single thing Donald Trump did that hurt black people. I'm not talking about his opinion on the Central Park Five. I'm talking about one piece of legislation, even after he was president for 4 years. Name one piece of legislation that Donald Trump signed that adversely impacted black people. I could name you 5 pieces of legislation. Wait. I could name you 5 pieces of legislation Biden backed, promoted, and some which he wrote that hurt us. So when you say you voted out of fear, how were you afraid of somebody who didn't do nothing to you so much that you went and voted for somebody who's been screwing you over for 40 years? It don't make sense.
Again, I didn't say it made sense. What I'm saying is fear is irrational. Okay. What I'm saying is that everything you said was absolutely correct. And I see that now. What I'm saying is that you guys are acting as if you don't remember the propaganda machine that was out there in the media against Donald Trump and made him look like the biggest racist in the freaking world.
But here's the thing that condemns you, Alan. This is what condemns you. You still walk around and say, even though now I realize that Trump never did anything to hurt me, I still would never vote for Trump.
I wouldn't.
You're a hypocrite. Yes. So that shows. So that shows that fear really didn't motivate your decision, because even though now you acknowledge that the fear was misguided, it was you being programmed, you still maintain this animosity for Donald Trump that you admitted was unwarranted. It was unjustified. So why do you still hate him?
Well,
You're just choosing to not like him. It wasn't fear. You just don't like him just because, or either you're still under that fear that you claim motivated you to vote against your own best interest.
No, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that both choices were bad choices, in my opinion. All right. And that, yes, the fear of him doing something against black people was misguided.
What policy made Trump a bad choice? That's what you got to explain. What policy made Trump a bad choice?
Let him finish, Brandon. Go ahead.
Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm conceding the fact that there was no policy that Trump did that was actually negative. Matter of fact, his policy for HBCUs and stuff like that was actually net positive. Looking back on, especially based on what Biden is currently doing, which is a whole lot of nothing and cutting the budget. What I'm saying is that I don't find him. I have somebody who grew up in New York all my life. I don't find him to be very contrite over some of the things that he's done. And I just do not like him. Now, would I vote for him? No. But if I had it to do over again, would I have made a different choice? I would have made a different choice than voting for Biden. That's what I'm saying.
Let me ask you this.
Hold on. Let me read this super chat real quick. Tony Smith, with their nonprofit tax exempt status, religious organizations are not supposed to be involved in politics. Black churches get away with doing this every single election, and Republicans never hold them accountable. All right, go ahead.
Now let me say this, and I want everybody to listen to what I'm telling you. You have a black man right here who admitted that Trump's policies were good for black people. He said, even though I know Trump's policies were good for black people, and I voted for a person who passed policies that hurted black people because I was afraid, I would never vote for a guy who instituted good policies for black people, things we can benefit from. Even though I acknowledge that, I'm still not going to vote for him. And therein lies your problem.
That's not
what part. That's exactly what you just said.
I said
That's
was, if I had the election to do over again, I would have made a different choice besides voting for Biden.
Would you have voted for Trump?
I would have considered it strongly.
Well, would you vote for Trump going forward since you know he has policies that are good for black people?
But if you give me a choice between, let's say, DeSantis and Trump, I'm gonna choose DeSantis over Trump.
No, bro. That's not what we're saying. You've already said here, I would never vote for Trump. You've said it on other broadcasts. You said it today.
I don't like it.
So you would literally, if a person did things that are good for black people, which you just admitted, you would still not vote for that person.
No, what I
That's
said
crazy, Alan.
No,
that don't make sense.
What I said was that if I had to do that election over again, I would have made a different choice.
Dynas, thank you for having me. My work here is done. This is the mindset black people are carrying. We are so programmed on self-destruction. It doesn't matter what the politician does for us. If they're not a Democrat, we're either gonna vote Democrat or we're not gonna vote at all. Even if the other person come offering us everything we ask for. Bro, Alan, the bad thing about what you're doing is, the good thing about you is you are an example of the mindset of every single black Democratic voter. They don't want it unless it comes from Democrats.
I'm not a Democrat.
But you voted Democrat every election.
Not every election. I did that.
Let's pass it. Idris, go ahead, Idris.
Yeah. Hey, Dynas, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I was just I'm listening to the conversation. Thank you for letting us get these conversations back and forth. It's really nice of you doing this. And for me, the main conversation that I with the Warnock and Walker situation is sad when you think about Christians, that we will persecute the accusations of Walker, but we will let a pastor who says he's a pastor fighting for abortion right vote for that person. We would willingly persecute someone who may have or may not have committed abortion 10, 15 years, 20 years ago. But we would still go as Christians and vote for a pastor who is pushing for abortion right. I mean, make that make sense. Like, it's
about.
Yeah. Warnock is a pastor.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jamal Bryant. My bad.
No, I'm talking about Warnock, between Warnock and Herschel Walker. It's confusing to me that black Christians are willing to persecute Herschel Walker for saying, oh, he may or may not have committed abortion 15, 20 years ago. But we would go and vote for a pastor who is supposed to be preaching the Bible to us that's pushing for abortion right. That is confusing to me. I just cannot see it.
I agree. Dr. Eric Williams, go ahead, Dr. Williams.
Everybody's fantastic on here. I just wanted to say that, just on my observation, some of the facts that, Donald Trump has provided for us when he was president. He's provided a lot of funding to HBCUs. He has done a wonderful job of setting up economic zones for business startups for African Americans. He's tried to socially reform the justice system by doing pardons and reducing sentencing, which is what he's done. These are actually things he's completed. And amongst the discussion with Ice Cube, there was a few items on the table that he wanted to do if he was elected. But I think our biggest challenge, and I own this too, for our community, is that we are very, very emotional, and we don't make logical decisions. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Can I add something about the pastor, since he brought up Warnock?
Go ahead.
Jamal Bryant is originally from here, from Baltimore, and anybody he needs to be very careful with his political activity now that he's moved down to Atlanta, because what can happen is that a lot of things that he's going to accuse Walker of doing a lot of his stuff can come up and come out. And I'm not sure if people are familiar with a lot of the things that happened and why he ended up leaving Baltimore and going on to Atlanta. But
Alan, I kind of remember. I think after the was it Freddie Gray got killed, that he popped up at like a protest and they ran him out. They ran him off the block.
That's correct.
He got ran off the block by that dude. Boom. Yeah, PFB Boom.
That's correct.
But before that, you know, there was also the out of wedlock children that he was having. You know, and there's been a whole lot of other stuff that has been tied up. So he's down there in Atlanta. He's coming off as this new man. But I think people should look up and see some of the things that was going on with him in Baltimore and why he lost a lot of his congregation and stuff like that. It's you know, he needs to be careful. And I've even liked you know, him at certain points in his life, but he's got a lot of stuff in his background, so he needs to watch, you know, throwing those stones from a glass house that he lives in. I'm gonna say it that way.
He's kind of like a carpetbagger.
Yeah.
Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again. Please hit that like button again. Once again, please hit the like button. If you're not hit the like button, Mr. Stevens, my brother. And listen, hold on, Fitzgerald. I forgot I got you here. Listen, we're going to take care of that for you on Saturday, Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, we're going to take care of that for you on Saturday. I don't like to see my brother hurt, bro. I see it on your face. I see you hurt since, you know, you haven't recovered from that loss against Tennessee. Fitzgerald, listen, my brother. Listen, my brother. We're going to take care of that for you on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. I think the game comes on CBS. We're going to take care of that for you, Fitzgerald. Don't you worry, brother. I ain't going to let them Bulls. I ain't gonna let you down. We're gonna re-avenge that loss, Fitzgerald.
I haven't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Alabama don't care which one of your clowns get in there, Tennessee or Georgia. We don't lose to the same team twice in the same year, but that's another conversation. I like to thank the panel for chiming in on this. A very energetic, intriguing, and much needed conversations with good points. But the one that takes home the teacher's apple is Brandon. He's right. I mean, if you clearly see that this is that detrimental far as to you, but forget your people, far as to you, your family, then your community, and finally, you know, your people. Why keep going down this continued road of action? And when that thought is placed, and when the feet are held to the fire, you come up with, well, that's the way I always vote. Well, I couldn't evolve into the man that I have if I always did everything the way I've always done it. Somehow I got to look at something saying, hey, if I'm not getting the results, you know, I must change. It can't all, you know, I'm the key number one factor in this, you know. So if I'm going down a certain course of action and I see it's not yielding me results after a certain amount of time, I must evolve. I must change. I must use tactics that's going to help me win. And every man and a woman and child and human being, it has to come to that. If you're seeing that you're losing market share, you're losing political power, economic power. If you see that you're rising in STDs, or you're rising in prison incarceration, you say, well, the cops got this out for that, so and got this out for this, but you're employing the same old tactics of marching and we shall overcome. And you know, you use that one very, very good, but you don't study the Montgomery bus boycott, which clearly shows you how to break the seas of power. It was an economic stranglehold that they did. Economics, which controls the whole thing. You can't just keep doing the same thing, keep expecting a different results, and complaining that you're not getting that different result. Somehow you gotta, like, okay, maybe I need to go get a passport for Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and then I'll throw one in for Gambia, you know, but I'm going to have options. Okay, maybe I need to go ahead If someone's not giving me the job, maybe I need to put myself in a position where I'm getting revenue while I'm on my job, just in case if something goes wrong, if somebody decides to snatch my income, Kanye West style, I can still survive. I don't have to be in that position where, you know, I have to just be a slave or see my neighborhoods continue to degentrify because I got to go to the very thing person that's impressing me to beg him to have mercy on me. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. So, you know, when I was 18, when a much younger man, I remember my granddaddy said, to go, when I went to go vote, I said, "Granddaddy, who I vote for?" He said, "Don't make no difference. Just go in the voting booth and pull all D's." That's what he told me. Well, even back then, with my mind, I said, "Granddad, you can't do that with Democrats. They'll give the country away." I could see it back then. But he was thinking, well, they signed the civil rights legislation, and they signed this and that. The Democrats are not the same cats, really, who they were back then. Just like the Republicans aren't the same party that when they Ronald Reagan. They're a total different apparatus now. And so you got to look in, what can I do to ensure my survival and my economic flourishing. Unity is the antidote to slavery. But so if I'm going to keep you in slavery, I have to have you disunified. What is the number one group that focuses on disunity? Skin color, Republican, Democrat. Black man don't want to vote with the white women. Black women saying this man is they ain't this, and the child support and structure the economic wealth and support everybody's business but your own. Glorify that with the shooters and the killer. Never mind people like you and I, Amir, or Brandon, or Simp Police, guys who work business, good guys in society. No, we're not celebrated at all. We're looked on some anonymity just because I can speak good English. You know, I have to be assaulted. You think you wide and looking wide and all that stuff. I have to hear that dang stuff. And I'm quite sure you do too, because you live in a nice neighborhood. And, you know, you up there with the uppity, all this kind of stuff, which I give two rips about. But look where it keeps taking us. You can't just keep going the same thing. Okay, we're just going to vote for a party who has overall proven to be our enemy. There's been proven that by their actions that they do it. Well, Fitzgerald is the other party, Republicans. Not really. Not really, but more so their policies that will help us as a whole. Okay, you against immigration. Immigration mostly hurt us. And you put cheap labor in that stuff like that. Who you think going to be the last hire, first hire? Okay, they're doing they're throwing out affirmative action. Cool, let it go. Because black colleges and everything, we get the support they finally need. If you want to pull that, we have our institutions set up. Well, they got white police enforcing that. That's simple, because you don't have enough economic power to tell them they can't do that. How many black cops you see walk around in Jewish or Asiatic neighborhoods? And you know, so get the power they amass. Well, we bled and died, and all other groups came in to get this power. Should they be cut? Why should they do it? If you ain't taking advantage of, why should they get it? Why shouldn't the Indians and the Asians and things like that? Why shouldn't they go and get it? The number one people against affirmative action right now are of Asian Americans. Diane, Asian Americans.
Fitzgerald, we talked about that. I was watching the hearings, and it was the Asian Americans in front of the Supreme Court. Like, listen, we got to shut this down.
Yeah, Asian Americans, and a group that seemingly love to say they're minority, beneficial, and things like that.
Fitzgerald, real quick, what's interesting? I guarantee you that black people on the left aren't going to call out the Asian American community for initiating, because they're the ones who initiated this whole affirmative action by race lawsuit.
Do you know why they did?
No, but what I'm saying, no, you tell me why. But I guarantee you, they're still going to point the finger at white folks, but not point the finger at the Asian community.
Hey, Dynast. I think it's interesting that Al Green, Representative Al Green, who is on the Black Caucus, also serves in the Asian Caucus. You should look it up. There's a lot of Black Caucus participants in the Asian Caucus riding for Asians.
That's interesting.
I think that's interesting. And in the meantime, they won't let black Republicans into the Black Caucus. There's a lot of black Republican representatives, like Mia Love and various other ones that were elected or serving right now, where they weren't permitted into the Black Caucus, but they let the Black Caucus participants participate in other caucuses, and they don't have your best interest at heart.
Yeah, that's interesting. Gentlemen, could it also have to do something like, if you speak too much about the Asian community? After all, remember, President Biden signed a special bill to protection status for the Asians. Could it be, you can get on there and say something they deem offensive and stuff, and then all of a sudden that's their anti-Semitism call for any time you disagree with something like that? I mean, it's a whole another different special degree of protections and status for anyone who's basically non-black. It's astounding. It really is.
Well, the reason why the Asians are making that case, and it's really interesting and going back to what we're talking about self-interest, is their numbers should be higher in Ivy League schools and in places like Berkeley and in places like MIT and things like that. But because of affirmative action, their numbers are lower because they're letting in blacks and whites. They want their spots, and they're doing what's in their best interest as a group of people. They want the spots in things like tech and in higher education to be more representative of the performance that they're putting on academically. And so they're saying to hell with everybody else, blacks, whites, whomever. We want our people at the top. That's what this is about.
Well, welcome to America. This, you want it bad enough, figure out a way to go earn. That's another thing.
Hey, Fitzgerald, you're going in and out. Like you keep going in and out.
Action right here. It says solid.
You know what's interesting? When you look at Al Green's participation on the Asian American Caucus, you'll see, and you track his funding. He gets a lot of funding from Foxconn, who is the manufacturer for Apple iPhones, right? So basically, China is in on it. China basically slows down manufacturing, damages the supply chain, and forces the Al Green and everyone else to vote according to Chinese or Vietnamese or whatever Asian groups you have in the United States. They vote according to that based on the leverage they have in manufacturing and supply chain.
Well, sir, what I'm advocating, but this is the world African Americans have lived in since the inception of this country. Okay, now it's amazing how when the tables are seemingly equal and everyone has to go through the same stuff, all of a sudden other groups can't seem to take it that we live and breathe under daily. My thing that I had with Prince Amir last night, I said there are many black people, not only black immigrants but African Americans, man, that come from very, very gifted academia family. I'm from one myself. Me and my two brothers have plenty of relatives like that, but the academic stuff off the charts. And we're more than well qualified to get into the Bamas and get into the Yales and the Harvards and everything. We don't need your help. We could easily go in there for the own merit. But seeing like someone's like, if we go in there, which is an insult for that, also we got in there through someone giving us a handout. You see how insidious it got. You see how crazy this can get up there, as if black excellence not celebrate like any other thing like that. It's some of us, we don't need your stuff, man. We'll go ahead and compete. We'll go ahead and compete academically with anybody any day of the week. And we don't bounce a basketball or play a baseball and stuff like that. And we're certainly not going to get up there and go into an area. We deserve to be in here. We deserve to be in there. Well, if you ain't getting into so-called Yale, Stanford, Harvard, Duke like that, well, it's plenty of other colleges that you can do. But no one owes you any special status because of your skin color, your tone and stuff. Now, if you're going to discriminate someone because of their color, which is what black people were talking about it, and it was a statistical truth. You are being denied because of your race. Then you need a program like affirmative action, frauds like that, even a playing table, where those good qualified applicants will get in. But you know, I mean, you know, that's on a whole nother different thing than what people are talking now. You know, so you should be able to get on your own merit. If you're not, you know, go somewhere else.
You know, another thing we don't talk about enough in our community is the tools that are being used against us in psychological warfare. One thing I can truly tell you is, you know, the other communities are well versed in using books such as Art of War by Sun Tzu and using Machiavelli the Prince. I think though in 48 Laws of Power, for example, I believe, and I firmly believe that the psychological warfare we're losing because we don't understand those philosophies, you know. And I think that's what's going on right now. And you can't really get mad at that. You gotta really salute the Asian Americans and Hispanic Americans for what they're doing. I mean, if it were up to me, you know, I never would try to envy what anyone's doing. I would just appreciate it and wonder, well, I need to adopt that formula for myself. You know, I think that's how we have to be as a people. You know?
We have our own colleges and universities in this country, so you know, there's no so that is not something that we should be, you know, because, you know, affirmative action is done basically after the Supreme Court's about to do this. Affirmative action as we know it is over.
Alan, do you think they're gonna? And Fitzgerald was right about abortion, because Fitzgerald he predicted that they were gonna, I guess, you know, whatever they did with abortion before it happened. So you think affirmative action is gone?
Absolutely. This has been a long-term thing where they're using you know, Asians pretty much to force it out. Now this will long-term, the affirmative action ironically is going to hurt a lot of the white applicants because they're going to be fewer. But
aren't white women the biggest beneficiary of affirmative action? That's what I was.
Yes. So there's going to be fewer. There's going to be fewer of them. But the fact of the matter is that in higher education, you know, and I'm in education, basically everybody, black, white, every other race is getting their behinds kicked in mathematics and sciences to basically Asians, whether it be East Indians or you know, people from Southeast Asia. We're all getting our butts kicked in terms of mathematics and those type of technical subjects and STEM and all that good stuff. So you're going to see in the future, once they get rid of affirmative action, that a lot of our elite schools are going to be filled with Asians, and that's what it should be based on the academic performance.
Now, hold on. One second. Let me pass it to Wisdom Never Sleeps. Go ahead and mute yourself.
Good day, Dynast. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you?
I just want to address something real briefly about Alan's thought about the fear of the orange man. The real fear of many black people is not to be approved, liked, or loved by white folk. That's why they don't vote for their best interest.
Amen.
Be liked, loved, or approved by white folk in the Democratic
Party.
I
add something to that? Could I add something to that?
No, I'm talking. You be quiet right now because I was quiet. Let's just be men about it.
Is this Herschel Dixon?
I'm just going to tell you the truth. You know, I'm probably older than everybody on the panel, so I'm just going to tell you like it is. And until you become a man about it and say, you know what?
No, I think
I'm going to stop this thing about using this excuse that was given, because there's no fear greater. Your fear of the annihilation should be greater than your fear of one person. We're being annihilated because we only keep voting the same way. If you're going to vote for policy, not feelings, not who you like, or what they told you to do of narrative. Vote for policy. That's what you got to do. Because if you don't own them, you better vote for the policy because you didn't pay for it. That's the only chance you really have. So let's stop all these excuses about all this stuff about, oh, we was fearing this person and this and that. And you sit up there as a man saying, yeah, I do hear you. I do know what he did. And I know what this other person for 40 years have done against us. But every time I don't want to be hated by them. I don't want to be disapproved by them. That's what your butt is really saying. That's really what you're saying. I'll just address that part for now. Thank you, Dynast.
Dynast, I haven't talked for a while.
But he addressed Alan, so let Alan respond.
He addressed me directly. So, listen, for the most part, I agree. I see that now. What I'm simply saying is yes, part of the fear is white approval. And what I was going to add to what you were going to say, because I was going to agree with you, was liberal white approval. We cater to ourselves towards liberal white approval. I don't think some people really realize my goal on coming on this program sometimes. And it's like I just kind of put things out there because I'm just trying to give explanations. But it's not so much that I disagree with people on the panel. I'm just trying to give the explanation. So the fear part I'm talking about is not it's all encompassing. It encompasses white approval. It encompasses all that, and I actually agree with you. There was no reason for me to go ahead and vote for Biden in the last election. I regret it. I come on here and I pay my penance for it and let y'all kick my ass about it every day. So it is what it is.
And we're going to keep kicking it.
Let me say this, Pan, but that's not what you still want to admit. You still keep saying, I get it, I understand, but you still want it. What you're really not telling everybody, you wanted another option that time.
That's true.
Just like now.
That's true.
What you're saying.
That's true.
When you brought up DeSantis for 2024 versus Trump, you still want options versus the person that actually gave you real policy for you and your people. So stop with all this saying, I agree and I hear you. You still want options because you won't face the fact that what you should have done. That's what you to say. Brandon, all it wanted you to say was, yes, I should have voted for him, and I will in 24 if that's the only thing I got to do. You still refuse to do that.
I could say that. That's not a problem. Yeah, if that's the only other option, and the option is this guy, I mean, I'm gonna vote for anybody except for this guy. So yeah,
your option should be about you and your people. So if he has better policies for the person, that's the other option you're saying. That's what you should be voting for.
Okay.
Not just because you have an out. Vote for your interest, not for your liking.
Okay, fair point.
Hey, can I just say something? Thank you. I appreciate the elder person saying that I have been saying this, because everyone in the comments is like, oh, wisdom is speaking. It's like, this is literally what me and Dynast have been saying for like 2 years. And now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, see, that's the whole thing is affirmative action needs to be gone. Okay. Because what affirmative action does is it muddies the water when it comes to who's most qualified to lead our people and who is qualified to speak on behalf of our people and who's qualified to speak to our people. Basically, you got a bunch of affirmative action hires, diversity hires. You got a bunch of people who barely made it through college or barely made it to college based on an unfair advantage, coming out of college, indoctrinated based on white liberal ideologies and paradigms, getting up in front of our people, getting on the biggest platforms and speaking for our people. And that's not right. Do you really believe Joy Reid knows how to fight for what's best for Black people than me or Dynast or Fitzgerald or even Go Black to Africa? No, but she rode the diversity bus. She rode the affirmative action bus to success. And because of affirmative action, she has one of the loudest voices, one of the largest platforms in the world when it comes to speaking on behalf of Black people. And the reality is, these people are the least qualified, but they know how to play the game. It's like the person who gets a job because basically they walk in, and if they don't get the job on the spot, they make a threat. Hey, I'm gonna call the NAACP, this or that. Okay, is that person really the most qualified? Or is that person getting that position based on the fear of the company or the government entity of receiving backlash for not hiring that person because they're Black? So we have a bunch of frauds and imposters standing up in front of our people. And that's why I really support Herschel Walker. I will always support him because Herschel Walker has done something that Barack Obama could never do. Herschel Walker has done something that Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, all these people could never do. Herschel Walker was able to generate his own success in the real world, then carry that into politics. Donald Trump generated success in the real world, then carried that over to politics. If you look at who Black people support politically, they're all just a bunch of bums whose their only claim to success or fame is being able to accept being whores for donor dollars by selling out their own people and America to anybody, to the highest bidder. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, look at them all. At least George W. Bush got rich off of oil. At least Donald Trump got rich off of real estate. At least Herschel Walker got rich off the NFL. He put in work. And that's what I look at more than anything. What has Raphael Warnock done? Stand up in front of a church, Martin Luther King's church or whatever it is, I don't even know. Talk trash, right? Talk trash, then get up and try to bring up Martin Luther King's name every time somebody challenges him on an issue, versus Herschel Walker, who put in the hours, the time, the dedication to get success in football and then translate that work ethic into politics. That's how you know who you should vote for. Who knows how to do it for real versus who's only in that position to be used as a hand puppet with one of these groups hand up their butt. So throw that shit out the window. Biden, what has Biden ever created? He's been a politician for 40 years. That alone should be enough to tell you, I'm not voting for this guy. This guy has no success other than selling out. And that's all you need to know. And that's why fear is an excuse, because you know what these people are capable of and you know what they're not capable of. How can they deliver for you if they couldn't even deliver for them without selling you out? And that's all I'm going to say.
Let me say this real briefly. On the other side of that fear is self-accountability. And I know y'all talked about that several times because I've been listening. When they decide to vote back for Republican side or conservative, that's who we have always been as a people, except for the last 50, 60 years. So they don't want to talk Republican and conservative because why? That means that party wants you to be accountable for building a business, being self-sustainable as a people, not giving you all the handouts, the government subsidies that keeps you dependent. So that's the other side of the fear, is being accountability for yourself and your people as a collective. So that's why a lot of them still refuse to vote Republican. It's not so much about the name, it's about getting back to your roots, of being accountable to yourself and to your people. And that's really period. That's what another part of the fear is of our people.
Elder, I'd like to thank you for that point, but you've been walking on the Lord's earth longer than me, and certainly longer than this panel, and you've seen much more than me. My father, who I'm blessed to still have him, he told me things got worse under integration, and I'm inclined to believe the man. He set up I was taught, that hey, we had our own communities. Our family was tight. We knew that no one else was going to do business, and all we had was ourselves. So we were thriving. We were doing well. Sure, you had other things around it, but I come from family fighters, man. Them cats stayed strapped. We wasn't worried about, because many of them guys I've seen were Klan members openly come up there and drag people out the church. This is Alabama back in the around turn of the century, back in 20. It was rough, man. And those cats kept their guns, all the deacons like that, and that's the way they operated. But they also kept self-sustaining farms. They also had their children working in the farms. They also had economic clout, and they worked as a unit, and the communities worked as a unit, because they knew that's all we have. I wish I don't know how we got away from that as if our restaurants, were not good enough compared to Woolco's or Macy's Place or any other institution you want to name it. And so we wholesale abandon our things. So in that if for that integration was basically considered evil by me. Now I don't believe somebody, if I'm traveling up the Pennsylvania, I don't believe you have the right to deny me to stay in a hotel room if I'm doing interstate. Now that's wrong, and that should not be allowed. But dang it, I don't have to abandon my own businesses, my own people, my own communities, and and think that someone else got some better taste than cornbread or syrup, or like some viewers said of me in the chat. It don't matter to me. I don't think you should have to abandon your pipe fitters and your construction workers who build your houses and things like that. Elder, what happened? I mean, tell me what happened. I mean, because I was born in '64. This thing was just kicking off. But it seemed like when Johnson signed that civil rights bill, man, it looked like we went to wholesale crazy. Fathers removed out of home. Drugs came in. People all over preyed on us. The prison industrial complex. Why can't someone say, hey, like Malcolm Shabazz said, man, I don't believe in integration. As opposed to taking the philosophy of Dr. King, like, love everybody. I don't believe in loving everybody. Go over there and marching in school. I'm a University of Alabama grad, but you know what? I got in there because a lady had to be walked in by marshals to go in there. But I'm very cool if I would have went to Fisk or Southern or Howard or any of those other things. I'm very cool with that, sticking with my own institutions. But it's been broken down so much. I'm afraid the generation within 2 generations is going to realize who we were before integrations. And we did that for hundreds of years. It looked like the black family just been destroyed, man, in a matter of something like 60 years, and still deaccelerating because we want to we think that everyone else's pie tastes better than the one that we made and baked and ate. And I don't get it. And so we can return to that, where the families and the businesses are supported by our own. I think that'd be a huge thing in restoring our dignity, our self-esteem, our power, and everything else. We got more on it. We got more benefits for it right now, but yet we refuse to have this thing that our stuff on a whole is just as good as anybody else. What is it, a Dr. Williams or Brandon? What is it? The black dollar stays in a black neighborhood. What, a total 4 to 7 hours before it then it's gone?
Hey, you hit the nail on the head. It's civil rights, where they told black. You ever heard the saying, "A bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush"?
Yes, sir.
Y'all ever heard that saying? Black people have an economy. It wasn't the biggest or the best, but it was pretty damn big. It was bigger than a lot of the economies of a lot of countries at that time. Our GDP. We had a bird in the hand, but guess what? These frauds came through promoting and selling 2 birds over in the bushes. So we abandoned the bird we had in our hand to go look for the 2 in the bushes. And guess what? We realized after all these years, right? We realized, damn, being an owner is better than working for somebody else. And we abandoned our ownership. So now we got to work for other people. You go to college. Bust your ass to get this qualification to go work for some white person. Then you got to worry about them discriminating based on your hair, or you black and they don't want to hire because it's white person. You were literally having you created issues that you never even had to worry about before civil rights. You never had to worry about that because your job and your work was based on a need or a service you provided, versus now I got to hire you just because they say I got to have 3 black folks working in here. See, you're no longer a necessity, right? Now you're just someone who is living off of generosity, living off of another group of people's generosity. And now we're just stuck in purgatory economically because we're like, everyone else is controlling whether we can eat. They're controlling where we can live. You literally walked out of independence and back into dependence. You want to talk about redlining? Why are black people complaining about gentrification? Bet you we wasn't complaining about that back in the 50s. Why? Because we built our own houses where nobody could say, hey, you can't live here. Well, we had to gentrify. We had to go over to where the white folks live and then complain when they won't let us over there. Or when they let us over there, then redistrict and change everything and bulldoze the whole block. Man, we're our own worst enemy because our only goal in this existence is white acceptance. It has nothing to do with prosperity, progress, or creating safe environments for our children. We just want a pat on the head from the white man, and that's what means everything to us.
Go ahead, Roosevelt.
See, okay, I'm unmuted. Hey, brothers, peace to everybody on the panel. Peace, Dynast. It's the same thing with us. And, you know, this might sound like an all-inclusive, one-sided definitive statement, but we're not getting out of this thing alive, connected to these people. Everything that we have constructed to bring us into any place of progressiveness or independence or ownership, it's under the thumb of their fabricated law. Their own law is against their own constitution. And we have been watching this for decades. And our people before us watched it and died in it for decades. Now, you know, I'm gonna get off my box after I say this. Man, I've been watching this since I was 5 years old. When I was 5 years old, that's when I first started getting a sense of feeling that we're in this thing that we don't run. And then I'm watching up getting all our leaders shot. And I don't care what you bring in or who you bring in as a politician. This game keeps going on. Where we're playing in something that we don't have no dog in. We don't have a fighter in this. We don't have a go-kart in this. And we are going to have to accept something. There were two groups of poets, prophets. And one of them's Gil Scott Heron, I believe it was, the revolution won't be televised. And the other one was the last prophets. Black people, and that ain't the word they use, are scared of revolution. We plan with these people. And if we keep playing with them, they are going to, not us, because our young people not listening to us. They are going to raise up generations of Black people that are stupider than us. Now, I'm not calling us stupid, but if you are in a game that someone has created to profit from and to use you as their collateral, I don't care how dedicated you are. I don't care how committed you are. You will be going in circles until the day you die. It's real over here. I'm in Africa. It's real over here. The European Union is recolonizing this place as we speak. You know how they're doing it now? They're doing it with the trinket of industrialism and improvement. And we're going to release our hold on some of these sanctions and these little tricks that we have so that you don't profit off of your own raw materials and resources like we do. And they're going for it. There's so much unrest and inflation over here in Ghana. It is crazy. And I'm not going to leave. I'm going to sit here for a minute. I'm just going to watch this. And then I'll do whatever I need to do. But Dynast, man, that's my contribution tonight. It's going to get really, really real.
No, I appreciate it.
Up and look at independence for real. Because nothing is coming apart from that. Use this while we can. But we better have that mind toward independence. And some of us, we damn near 70 years old. Come on. Thanks, Dynast. Peace, brothers.
Oh man, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'll put the link in the chat room if you guys want to call in after the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Somebody had asked, somebody, Mexican Condor had asked about about the Pelosi situation. They're hiding that film. They're not going to release the film. They just came out today and said they're not going to release the security footage and the police cam footage, which is crazy. So there's something more to it, but there's something more to it. But they're definitely hiding the film, the footage. So yeah. Yeah, they came out and said that per the FBI, because I guess the San Francisco, DA or whatever, they gave the case to the FBI, and the FBI said that they're not gonna release the security footage or the body cam footage from the police officers. So that's interesting, but oh well. All right, go ahead, Fitzgerald.
Oh, no, I was just trying. I just really got reconnected, so I'm back in front of my home computer. So I don't know what to go ahead on. Hey, Mr. Roosevelt, how you doing? So I'll just listen to why you pick up something. I think I've pretty much said my point, which unfortunately, Elder, is the point I constantly keep making.
Well, in response, Fitzgerald, to what you were saying earlier about since integration and civil rights.
Yeah. I was talking about integration of it
and what happened to our family and community.
Okay.
But one of the things integration did, Black people didn't negotiate to keep anything, to reserve anything. They just went on through and accepted whatever the other side wished for them, so they can be approved by them. And so what happened with our family is, because I come from a family of 13 myself, and we had neighborhoods which we call communities, and we was all accountable for every family, every child. Everybody was accountable for each other in that community, and we shared. So we had gardens. Somebody had the cows, somebody had the goats, somebody had the hogs. Whatever it was all community that shared. So I didn't know that we was poor. My older siblings told me that. I didn't know that. All I know, I was fed, we played, then we went to school and played football, whatever. I didn't understand poverty because that wasn't not something that was told. We just worked at it, did what we were supposed to do. You can go to the neighbor for something, they exchanged things and shared. But at the same time, as a child, someone else's parent could tell me something or chastise me, and then my parents would never question them because they knew that they was trustworthy as people in that community. When integration happens and we started getting, not we but as a people, a lot of people started falling for the individual praise and approval. So they start breaking away from the communities. Yes, there was roads and highways and all that separated, but you can have things there, but you can still be a people. But what happens is now is that, oh, I'm the single mom. I'm the one make decisions. You don't tell my child anything. Or, they started breaking away from the community because then that brainwashing of patting on the back, you're better than, you're not like your people. You're not this regular Black person and all this stuff. You're not like anybody else. So that was a slow way of dividing people to make sure there was no longer a community. So that way you could not, that's why you have a lot of stuff going rampant now. People are still needing approval at their jobs and places like that. So it broke the community structure up, the accountability level that we as a people, we hold each other accountable greater than anybody else can. But it's not like that anymore because we need individual praise and pat on the back and all these things. And that's why it's so easy for the special liberal people to plug out people like the pastors in these churches, the Joy Reids and Stephen A. Smith, anybody, Charlemagne the God, all those people now, long as they can stay and get what for them, then they'll keep selling you down the river and speaking the narrative. So that's really what this so-called integration did. It caused us not to negotiate to keep anything. We lost a lot of Black teachers, lost a lot of schools, our stores, everything was just given away to be ushered right on over in, for they'll approve you to be accepted over there. So you was talking about when you had the community, you move into those neighborhoods beside them, they move out to another one. They wouldn't ever stay as your neighbor. Then they come back later on to regentrify to move you out, and now they have a higher value property. So it's just a cycle that we just seem to can't say, you know what, this is not good for us. I'm not going to be an individual. Whoever's out front, I'm going to follow as well. So that's what happened with the real integration situation, was the fact we did not negotiate to retain ourselves, our community, or anything.
No, let's back to Rico G. Go ahead, Rico. Unmute yourself.
Hey, fam. How y'all doing, everyone?
Hey, Mr.
Doing good.
I have a question. Like for Wisdom Never Sleeps and Mr. Fitzgerald and Roosevelt. What do you see? What do you think we can do now to avoid what you all went through to what we're going through now, as far politically or whatnot? Seeing, because I know they play the same game over and over again, and you guys have seen it for a while. What can we do to be able to recognize or prevent what's going on now, to where we won't, to where in the future our kids won't be experiencing the same thing?
Elder, please take the lead off of that. I'll speak after you.
Well, first and foremost, you have to understand where you are as a people, not as an individual, not as a hood, not as a sector, not as a gang, as a people collectively. So you also have to understand that, yes, the older people went through some things and they just probably just existing and tired because they see that individuals we can't fight against all the time. So you as the younger generation have to say, you know what, let's take all this energy, all this bravery, or all these things that we have, and then we go against the system, not our own people. Because what is happening, you're still fighting your own people collectively for your own recognition. So first and foremost, since you have they say they call the old because they're wise, the young because they're strong. So if you're strong, seek the wisdom of the old and say, you know what mistakes did y'all make? Let's not make these same mistakes. And if you don't feel they're being honest with you, go to someone else that will be honest with you, because I'm telling you, a lot of the older people now will not be honest. They are still afraid from years gone past. And that's the truth, what it is. They won't accept change. They won't try to alleviate. They won't even listen to younger people sometimes. And that's the biggest mistake that we have for a lot of these baby boomers. They fail to listen, because a lot of what y'all call the messiahs and saviors and people that have been killed in abortion, but some are living, and you're dismissing them as just being wild youth. No, they have an energy that you can help guide. So be honest with them. Be all right, honest with them, and they may lead you to freedom and back to where you need to be, so you can rest your last years saying that we've returned, we're back. So that's what you can do. Seek out some wisdom from people, some information, but also know what your vision for your people is, not for you yourself, but for your people. If that's what you want to do, you got to have your collective mind first and foremost. And don't let nobody divide you. Understand that even though there's many people that have different avenues and different ideas, but take a little bit here, take a little bit there, and say, agree that you run this leg. Okay, I'm gonna run this leg. We may not agree on everything, but at least you know I'm right here. I'll do this part. That's a collective engine. Because if you take your car apart, you're gonna have so many pieces there that you don't know what happened. But collectively, once it's put together, it will run. So know that you might be the wheel, somebody else might be just that little boat, somebody the transmission. All these things collected. Right now, you're fighting amongst yourselves about who's going to lead, and nobody's leading anybody. So just understand, let's put this engine back together. Every piece is important, and let's run our part collectively. So even when we separate on the shelf, if that one piece breaks, there's another new one already in stock, already in training, already ready to be replaced. That's what you can do.
Thank you for that. Expounded upon that, Elder. I appreciate it. I've certainly learned from that. Mine is separation. Separation. I'm not going to say total and complete separation, although there is some merit from that. Separation, the way Deion Sanders is doing it. No, that man. This is a classic example of a guy who can go anywhere and make no mistake about it. His talents, they say lack of coaching talent, and all those facades don't mean to do. He's a supernova. But just one man decided to go to one HBCU college, and he's raising a tide for all of HBCU, that whole platform. They should figure out how to keep that man under any means necessary, even if the whole school body, the whole HBU body has to, contribute to paying his salary so they don't lose him. One man who decided to take his supernova platform to put it in Black institution, couple of star athletes that came, that many would have went to the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Notre Dames of the world, but in that
They ain't going to Alabama.
And that revenue is following these guys. Why don't we have the same type of things where we get a consensus where we can recruit bright minds, African American minds, to come together and say we're going to rebuild the African American institutions. It's not that we can't compete. We're underfunded. And so funding is going to follow talent. You got this great talent, and let's go back and rebuild our tables. Let's go back and study the old blueprints. Let's go back and get these Robert Smiths and these. I heard of this one Black billionaire that started a tech company. He's in there. Why don't we go get some of these people with money? I don't even want to say the entertainers and things, but they would qualify as far as perk. But let's just start with a grassroots campaign that, let's formulate our own institutions for giving our own loans to develop our own communities first. We don't need any help. Let's absolutely forbid, and I do mean absolutely forbid, political power, white officers for controlling our neighborhoods. We know, not less it's going to be for the other way around, that we could do the things, but let's just stick with our own. Let's just build our own communities, and let's put these schisms aside. AME, Muslim, Baptist, atheists, and all that. If we do, they see Black. You see Black, and let's just celebrate Black excellence. It's there. If we build for everyone else, and then came out and built for ourselves, under racism, clan lynching, and stuff like that. Okay, let's go out there and build it again. But this thing, go ahead and get smart. Get your rights to defend yourself. Get your right to bear arms, just like anybody else do. But you can have some deflection. Get your political power, but come together. And build your own. For construction worker, there's enough out there where we can get these super contracts and build up our community. It's there, but we can compete. Now this is how you use the minority status. This is how you use that Black owned, female owned, and stuff, and then you start building up your neighborhood. Hey, you know what? The whole thing about gentrification is those are Black neighborhoods that other groups want. So they'll just simply destroy the base, destroy the economic base, or they'll do all these zoning things like they did with Central Park. Central Park used to be a Black-owned neighborhood, gentlemen. That was just taken. Lake Lanier, that was a Black neighborhood up there in Georgia. They just flooded it. And many of these things, and they flooded because A, they didn't have the power of defense to defend themselves, and B, they didn't have the economic power, to buy the political power that it takes to back these cats up off of you, because we didn't come together as a whole. Unity is the antidote for slavery. And if I want to put you in slavery, all I'm going to do is disunify, disjoint you, like the elder said with the car analogy. Separate, man. Separate and get into your own. Police your neighborhood with the same type of scrutiny that everybody else. What are you doing in this neighborhood? You ask that question in other neighborhood. Why can't you ask it with anyone else? What are you doing in this neighborhood? You know, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with protecting your own? What's wrong with having patrols, you know, to stop these sex predators or these drug predators and stuff? What's wrong with bringing the pain to someone who crosses your line and destroy your neighborhood? Say something against Islam. You know, say something. Let's make a radio station say one thing against, man, that radio station is blown off the hill. Am I advocating violence? Only in defense of someone advocating violence on me. You know, on me. They're not going over there that far to take it, but you know, you got to have that. Protect your own. Once we start right there and we come together unified, that our women and our men are just as beautiful. No, more beautiful than anybody walking around. The black mind is extraordinarily intelligent as any Asian or anybody. I stack us up against anybody. You know, I'll stack us up against anybody. The only reason Dukes and your Harvards and your Yales and your Stanfords and your University of Michigan, University of Alabama that can rock over Fisk and Southern and Howard and Grambling and stuff, but it costs they have funding. What's the major part of bringing fundings right now? Athletics. I love what Sanders is doing. I hope to God that that they take care of where the Auburns of the world won't call him, and FSU won't take that man. Do you realize what that dude has done in 2 years that SWAT couldn't do? That SWAT wasn't able to do in 50. The only guy that came close to what Sanders is doing now is the late coach, great Eddie Robinson of Grambling. That bought the importance of what black athletes could do, and more importantly, what that television revenue could do. Elder, I see no other way but separation. And separation, then you can't stay in an environment that made you sick. You can't sit around there and pander to your enemy, both politically and economically, and think by your tears and your good graces is going to give you that it's going to feel sorry for you, quit kicking you in your booty.
Exactly.
You got to have something to fight, as my granddaddy said. And he was talking about two things. He was talking about defense and pistol, and he was talking about economics. And that's the cat that taught me. You know, and that's the way it's going to do. We are best as good as anybody. We don't need to be sitting up there. Please give me something to drink. Please, I tore my restaurant down. I won't support my restaurant, but can I please have some of your overpriced, outdated food? Oh, Fitzgerald, that's a hell of a comment. Check the expiration dates. A lot of these stores, and when they come in black neighborhoods with the food, check the level of service.
Yep.
Check it, you know, and stuff, and you allow that. Why can't you just support your own? Listen, Arabic community come in, black community, everybody else coming in there. They coming in there because it's poor? No, a business owner don't think like that. They coming in because it's rich, and they have a market of black people that's going to give their money to them instead of someone else. Same with education, same with manufacturing, and same with anything else like that. And then you build your own, ladies and gentlemen, and you won't have to be at the pretense of begging someone. You know, then you can formulate alliances with other people, and then black people in this country will be respected or even feared, because you know now we're on equal footing as everybody else, and we care about our neighborhoods and everybody else. Man, I'll shut down your liquor stores and your food parlors this is radical compared to where I grew up. I'll shut down a lot of religious institutions there. You know, I shut down a lot of that. What are you doing? You're talking about building funds and stuff like that. What are you doing? What are you getting back to the neighborhood? What businesses are you formulating there? What are you doing? You know, what are you doing like that? You tell me liquor stores and churches on every corner of any other neighborhood besides mine. You know, I'll make our neighborhood safe again. You know, and I'll do that, but I would be pro black first, because that's what I am. Everybody else take care of their interests, and all of a sudden, when black people start saying they want to take care, all of a sudden it's being racist. First of all, stop giving a jabeezy what people think. You're trying to survive. Right. You're trying to survive. Dynas and all the panel right here, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm humble enough to submit to other logic. I think we're 2 generations away from being a permanent underclass state. Maybe 1.5, 2 generations. 2. If we don't get this economics right, if we don't get this unity right, I think we'd be so fragmented we won't even know what in the hell we are. And those like myself, oh man, we looking for some island. We looking for some other place to get to, or we're going to build wealth to such a point that we can travel back and to and fro. But we're not going to be subject. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to isolate ourselves a lot from people, you know, as far as that, because we ain't going to want to be drugged down. I ain't interested in going back and saving the hood. I'm interested in building a utopia where we all can thrive and live. I ain't interested on that kicking with my boys. If my boys have my like mind, if my woman has my like mind, or you know, if my neighbors have my like mind, we can rock. But if not, you know, you can't be in fellowship. We have nothing in common. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak.
Mashawn, go ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I just want to say one thing to what he said. All unity is key, but I think we need to focus on identifying who our people are, because our people are scattered everywhere with different thoughts and different agendas. And for us to become together as one, we got to identify of who these people are, who our people are, and what they really want to do. Because if we don't do that, everything you said, Fitzgerald, doesn't mean anything. And what you're saying is right, but you got to have a back. You got to have the numbers. You got to have the muscle behind you to make it work. Because you as an individual and a couple of people, it's not going to stick. It's not going to last. It always starts out but it's never completed and finished and long lasting forever for generations to feed off of. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand crystal clear what you're saying. Actually, we're speaking the same thing. You know?
Right. So yeah, with the gentrification, I've seen it. I've been through it all, and it's now all over the country. Now what? Because the foreigners are coming over. Nobody get offended when I say foreigners or immigrants, but this is a reality. And they coming over like they gangster. And they ain't afraid of nothing and nobody. Now, where's our gangsters with that in our community? What we going to do about that? We need a community like right now. And I don't see nobody, everybody's talking, blah, 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 but I don't see the action. Where's the action? Where do we start? I'm talking about in America, not in Africa, because I feel that if we don't get together, become selfish for ourselves here in America, even though you're doing great work in Africa, how really we going to show and improve in Africa if we don't start unifying here ourselves? We got to help ourselves out first, like right now. And I think we need to go back to the Harriet Tubman days. We got to go back to the 1800s, start all over again, and figure it out. Thank you. That's all.
Dynasty, is it okay if I address Rico?
There is the lady is absolutely right. It is going to take probably 2 to 3 generations to really build something that's permanent, that's respected.
Yes, go ahead when Fitzgerald gets done. Go ahead, Fitzgerald.
I said the lady is absolutely right. In my mind, it's going to take probably about 2 to 4 generations to build the type of utopia that I'm talking about. But far as for the present thing being, I don't plan on being around for 4 generations, 200 years in the future, and none of us on this panel and on this audience will neither. I have to look at what can be done in the now, what can be done for the quick analysis and things. And I have my thing of adults trying to develop that unity, but the question is how. I feel I feel that we're possibly almost 100% so fragmented that, you know, the putting that together would be almost, and I don't like to use this word, an impossible task. Okay, so what's the solution in that? Well, websites, find partner, find people like-minded that you can do business on, starting out with a few. Many of us on this panel think alike, but few in the audience share the same views. Many that maybe we can network with ourselves and do something, or start by investments, or start by supporting maybe a black-owned grocery store in some of the neighborhood. I don't know, but I do know this: inaction is not a choice. It's not an action anymore. We are dying, and that's not God. That's a tough statement for me to admit, because I love my people and always will. But we can't keep losing like this. Now we can't keep doing the same things, and you don't have no help. We don't have help from our black politicians. Yes, I said it. We don't have help from any other community. It's just us. So someone just got to seize the power and start some type of grass movement. I'm not a real big Obama fan. I will, Keisha. I'll pay attention to your words. But I respect the way that man that came out of obscurity and for nothing. People say, well, he went to great schools. Yes, he did. But it was his great marketing program that he did a speech at the Democratic convention, and he raised his money grassroots style, internet, $5 donations here, $10 donations here, 20, and he galvanized more people besides just black people. He put a wide net out, but he was able to put that finance. He was able to set the world on a blaze with his message. And lo and behold, boom! We're talking about the president of the United States. So great goals can be accomplished but not before great action and great organization. No, and the lady's right. I'm too as tired of the speeches, and I'm not giving one. My words are designed to make you think, and to make you think. If you can't go as those people, maybe you as an individual father, maybe Mr. Roosevelt, you as a father, you can galvanize this to your son, who will be the next guy to really take this to the next step. You can pour into him, but he can start seeing you mixing up with me, or Prince Amir, or Elder Wisdom Never Speak, or Simp Police, or Brandon, people like-minded minded. He can start, growing his network by using your network to get these ideas. I don't know, but just sitting in there. But I do know this: just keep voting and going to the Democratic Party or the Republican, and attaching ourselves to parties, which either one of them ain't in our interest. To go out there and look at the NAACP, who are nothing like when they first started out. Not when Medgar Evers and all those cats were there. They're a whole nother different thing. The Black Caucus, what? You're black? What is a caucus? What do you do? The other guys, because you make a hit record, and you talk about some things in the streets. Also, this makes you an authority on the black communities, simply because you have this economic power. But what are you doing with it? What are you doing as a whole? I don't know. I think it's going to be a grassroots movement with the people, Dynast. I think and somebody got to spur that. And you're one of the men that can do it. You have the platform to do it. You have the influence to do it. But until then, I don't see any other way. I mean, I really don't. I work with those who work with me. I work with those of similar like interests. If anyone in this panel has like interests, what I'm talking about, fine, I'm ready to rock with you. If any woman has like interests, when I'm talking about it, hey, I'm ready to rock with you. But if you don't, I don't. You don't, I don't, because I'm 100% right on this fact. Now we just need somebody to strike the match. I'm 58. I said, well, but sometimes I feel like, God, man, it's been fighting. I fought hard to get where I am right now, and sales director of a tech company and entrepreneur. I fought real hard. Maybe I'm looking at maybe 12, 14 years at the most in the game, and I want to just go sit somewhere and maybe cruise around on cruise ships, go to different ports of call. I don't know. But somehow I just disenfranchised, because it's so frustrating when you just feel like you're just all alone. I mean, this panel right here, when I come to the Search for Uhuru, I don't hear this in my neighborhood. I don't hear this around here, but I do know where I was working in St. Petersburg last night, and I didn't know that St. Petersburg, Florida, has such a huge Black diversity program. I actually was talking to the mayor and met the mayor, and him and I was exchanging conversation at a table that him and I was sitting in. I just invited myself up there, you know, and so you know, hey, it was up there for the take, so I just went, you know, and so we got to talking. And they was talking about saving this Black venue that had been there since the 1920s, almost 100 years, started 1925. And so we broke up in the table. They would say, what can we do to save this? How can we make this, and how can you make this? And I told the people, just like I'm talking to y'all, in the tone of saying, hey, listen, if you don't got economics coming in like that, you know, how you don't got a chance. You know, how's this thing going to make money for the community? We're saying what the Black community doesn't have, and Black community, you'll never be respected. They will do with what they want. Your gentrification coming, they will take this place because you don't have the money, the economic power to fight. I said, money's not all that important. It just ranked right up there with air. You know, and these are the cold hard facts. What are you doing to generate income so you can fight the people who want to take this from you? It can't be chicken fries. It can't be coleslaw dinners. You know, so you got to put economics is what is expected in the political realm. You know, but young people, we haven't failed you. You know, we haven't us elders, we ain't failed. We dealt with the cards we have. We are still dealing with the cards we have, and frankly, some of us did pretty damn good. You know, it's not because we're older, you know, our ideas are archaic and stuff like that. That shows stupidity that you don't know how to give respect to elders who can basically tell you way more how to go. Okay, you got things that laying on the track that we built for you. Enjoy it. Go your ride, but don't disdain, you know, elders when they're talking to you, nor elders disdain to you. You know, we need each other because, you know, Dynast, Mr. Roosevelt, Mr. Wisdom, Alan, Brandon, Miss Maslin, Rico, Dynast, we're not going to be here, you know, forever. So we got to try to prepare some of you guys to take the torch and take the wisdom that we have and expound upon it. You know, so we definitely can't despise each other, but this has to be done. This is literally for the survival of us as a people. God's hand is upon us. No one's going to ever be able to wipe us out. That's obvious. But we can be so assimilated and we can be so lost in other people's society and in other people's dreams and other people's businesses that we actually forget what the hell we actually even did. You know, so the stakes are critical. So it's too much not to give up on. I appreciate you guys. Respect and love each and every one of you. And I mean that. And I thank you guys for the conversation, but conversation initiates actions. You have to talk to have meaningful dialogue to find out what are the necessary steps that could be implemented. And finally, someone got to say, hey, I'm done talking. Let's go ahead and implement some of these steps.
Can I say something real quick?
Right now. Let's pass it to Roosevelt. We'll pass it to you, Brandon. Go ahead, Roosevelt.
Thank you, guys. I want to address you, Rico. And first, I want to say that Wisdom and Brother Fitzgerald, your wisdom, both of you, your wisdom is popping. And it's a simple formula. Unity, as you said, Brother Wisdom. If you do not have a mindset that these people are your family, I don't care what you don't agree with. I don't care what tribe you're from. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your economic or social status is. If you do not have the mindset that these melanated people are your family, you're done. Rico, I appreciate you respectfully asking us brothers to address you. I'm 66 years old, man. And like I said earlier, before you were on, all my life I have been watching this treadmill that we are never going to get off of. I repeat, we are never going to get off of this treadmill if we do not, know this might sound like not wisdom to people, without a plan, step off. step off, because this is a spiritual thing. It's not religion. It's spiritual. And the ones who are handling us, and as much as we don't want to admit it, they handling all of our black. The ones who are handling us are up on every philosophy that has governed what's happening in the universe. They don't even respect no religion, but they grab the philosophy. And that philosophy is simply this: one unit, one purpose, one rule, and you control the world. Now, here's how that breaks down to us. We got to give one another a pass as we do everything that we can to utilize what we built. We built the wealth. We built everything. So we have to utilize it all in any sector that we can be in. I admire Brother Dynast because in his search for freedom, he is going to the root of where the most resource, not just in the land, but in human beings is. And he's finding his roots, and he's using what they are using: travel and influence and friendship with people. And these people are not even theirs. And he's staying focused on his search for freedom. So he's in Mali, he's in Ghana, he's looking into all of the practices and everything that the people do, because even though I don't believe we're the same people, we are connected to these people by blood and by family, because history says that. So in speaking this to Rico, I would say to Sister Mashan, there is no such thing as those of us who are here in Africa not working with you in America. We're not going to do nothing here in Africa if we're fragmented in America. But now I'll tell you who the diaspora is. We are the hope of all creation. It's no wonder that we are so damn confused, because the powers that be know who we are. And it ain't connected to nothing religious. It ain't connected to Islam, Christianity, Judaism, none of that. It is simply the fact that we are the indigenous people of the earth. And the earth literally belongs to us. But if we don't free our minds from holding the hand of the man who every week comes up with something to manipulate us into believing that he is something that he is not, and has us on social media taking a stand on what Kanye is doing, on what Candace is doing, on who's the best political party and who's the best president. There is no such thing as a political party when it comes to us. We don't have a dog in any race. And it's like Brother Fitzgerald said, we're going to have to work our way through it. Brothers, one thing you're saying I don't agree with: don't just assume that you ain't going to be here. There is something in you deeper than chronology. And it's what has us, whether we're Dynast's age or our age, it's what has us reaching out for our freedom. And that freedom it goes beyond what these people are doing. These guys out here, I see them out here in Africa, they are just acting up, showing the crack of everything. They're crazy. But our bondage is not really them. They're just taking advantage of our ignorance and our division. Our bondage is whatever is in our mind. that has us thinking that we are restricted to this commercial prison that we're supposed to be experts in. And we are the biggest spending population on the planet. Certainly in the Western world, we spend bigger than anybody. Everybody saves more than us. So, Rico, it's going to start with you deciding that no matter what's happening, you are going to find a brother, 2, 3, 4, that you can lay down with, that you can go to sleep in front of them with your gun and your woman near them, and you can wake up and have both. That's what we need. We need to be free in our minds so we don't get on the internet and sell a brother out. Because see, I can sell you out in my room. I can sell you out. I can sit here on this internet. Now, I don't like Dynasty. See, I don't agree with what he said right there. I'm sorry, but when we going to stop acting like niggas? Everybody that is controlling us has differences, have wronged one another, have said stupid things, and they have done the worst thing. They have offended the people who are who Kanye says we are. We are separate from anybody in the earth. We're not supposed to have any of these men ruling over us. Now, when we're under the authority of whatever law they have, we have to learn how to be stealth. And whether we are selling popcorn or selling travel packages, we have to learn how to take these resources with a mind toward, I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to take care of my people. You don't have to know all the ins and outs. You ain't got to have a plan. But I'm telling you where your power is. Rico, your power is in your independent mind to say, I'm going to take care of my brother. And then let's just look at this science. And I'm gonna get off this stool because I could go for weeks with this. Let's just look at this science. It's really simple. Here's Kanye. Now, Kanye has always said things that are all, I mean, most of the stuff Kanye says, I'm like, yeah, I hear you, Kanye. You on your thing. A black man can say anything he wants to say. He can say, I'm a man. I've been transgendered now. I'm a woman. Black people, we are backwards. We're shiftless. I chose a white woman because they're more submissive. White lives matter. Everybody's the same. We should get along. But as soon as he says, I am a Shemite and I can't be anti myself, they are ready to his life up. They're ready to tear his life apart. Now let's not look at.
Look, bro, let's do this because we're about to close out. Sorry to judge. We're passing to Brandon, and we're going to close out. Go ahead, Brandon.
I just want to say I appreciate the brother Roosevelt because he recognized what was going on that was really ridiculous and anti-black. Fitzgerald listened to Mashawn, and I don't think he really picked up what she was saying when he was like, she's right. Mashawn is a xenophobe. She hates other black people who are not from America. She does what typical racists and xenophobes do. She tries to hide it behind this. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we need to work on ourselves and get strong. That's what all racist and xenophobic people do. If I got up here and said, what we need to do, instead of doing all the stuff Brother Roosevelt talked about, we need to focus on these African immigrants and we need to fight them because they're coming and acting tough and all that stuff. She's dishonest. I don't even know why Dynas keep letting her up here, even though all opinions are welcome, but she's deceptive. And what you got, and the reason why I'm pointing this out is this is what happens to black people. We get in a group, We start speaking things that are healthy and advantageous and beneficial to our people. And then in come the people who are looking to sabotage us, and we don't even understand it. I'll give you the prime example. Remember the movie Coming to America, when the woman got on stage talking about raising money for the youth center? And then she and everybody agreed with her, right? But then the pastor got on stage and he followed her up. And he had a message that was totally contradictory to her message. But because he was Black and he said it in a cadence that Black people have been programmed to respond to, everybody was cheering him on. They thought that what he was saying was in agreement with what she was saying, but it was actually totally contradictory. Here's the thing. Mashawn is a xenophobe. Why doesn't she go to the xenophobic YouTube channels and go use that message and build something with those people? They're all over the internet, Empowering ADOS, Magnesi. There's a bunch of them. Why is the person who hates Africans coming to a Pan-African space and say, we need to unify? Do you really think you can unify with this person? Time and time again, she's been proved and caught in lie after lie on this channel, yet you got people saying, preach, yes, she's telling the truth. Guys, we got to learn how to listen with our fucking ears versus our feelings. Because I picked up on it. Brother Roosevelt picked up on it. Am I right or am I wrong, Brother Roosevelt? Did you not pick up on that? He picked up on it. Dynas picked up on it. I'm sure Alan picked up on it. Why didn't everybody say, yo, this person's talking about division? We've been on here talking about for 30 minutes or 2 hours about unity. How did someone come in speaking about division get in and nobody noticed it except for a few of us? And you got people in the comments, yes, he's right. This is the problem with our people. Once somebody start talking in a certain cadence or using a certain trigger words that we have been programmed to hear, and then shut our minds off, like when politicians get up, Dr. King, this Malcolm X, and we no longer are thinking, we're just now feeling our way through what they're saying. We will never move forward like that. That means you don't stand for shit. And if you don't stand for nothing, you can't never build nothing. Do you hate Africans or do you love them? If you hate them, go that way. If you love them, if you love all African people and you want to build together, then go that way. Just like Elisha told those Israelites on Mount Carmel. If you believe in this, go that way. If you believe in this other thing, go that way. But don't try to go forward limping upon two different opinions, which literally means stop trying to go in two directions at the same time, because that inevitably leads you nowhere. And everybody who was here heard it. Most people recognized it, but no one had the balls to say anything about it other than Brother Roosevelt and then me, right? And what I'm saying is, Brother Fitzgerald, I don't think he realized what he was doing. So he was like, yeah, she's right, right? And that's okay. He's innocent in that because he didn't expect to be low-key sabotaged by someone getting up here, hide behind the false guise of unity and then using that to preach xenophobia. But how many of us saw it and didn't immediately call it out? That's the problem with our people. And that's the same way we stay silent as these politicians and stuff take advantage of our people. We sit by silently listening to it, and then we wonder, man, why the community is so disjointed? Yeah, because we sitting by as silent witnesses to our people being manipulated and being too scared to speak up. Because why? Oh, well, we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or step on any toes or break any eggshells. It's not going to work like that. We're not going to make progress, and that's it.
All right, y'all. Hey, unless Fitzgerald wants to respond or somebody wants to respond, if not, we'll go ahead and Wisdom Never Sleeps. Then we'll close out. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to appeal to every age demographic. So the young people are our warrior class, and we need the older people to help guide them into that and also monetarily support them. So even if you're not on the front line, you just don't want to give words, give some money to help the battle, to help the transition, because like we're talking about, is economics behind it all. So we need to find a way to do that. And so, we need to listen to each age demographic. We need to share the ideas. We need to also help facilitate the movement for the people. Now, what most people don't realize that we already have some form of army known as the gangs. They're just been misguided over the years because you used to have the deacons of defense that patrol.
If I can interject, I'm so sorry to interject, Elder. The whole, the gangs could be an army. We I think we're past that point. They're lost.
Well, let's go with the mentality of those that like to protect the community. Let's switch it to that. And we can prevent them from going into the gang itself culture, but still have the mentality of protecting the home and the neighborhood and community and transition in that mindset. That's the ones we need. So, yes, but anyway, I appeal to all of you seniors, elders, anything, any age group you call yourself an elder, stop dismissing everyone that's younger than yourself. Just help guide them and help support them in the direction to be on the front lines of war. And then you use your wisdom and guidance to help them get there. And don't be afraid to tell them where the failures were at the time when we was going through everything. Be honest with them so they'll know how to deal with what's in front of them, because just because they don't know, they don't mean we should not inform them. And that's what I have to say.
All right, hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Peace.